Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for coming out today. Good afternoon to everyone. Just starting this off, talking about our last game. I like the way we prepared last week. I think we went into Charlotte with the right mindset, started the game off the way we wanted to, did some good things. And, in a zero-sum world, it was a difficult loss. And after watching the film, I think we did some really good things that we could be proud of. I think we, dominated time of possession. We ran the ball well. We stopped the run well. We had a lot of really good individual performances. A lot of guys had their best performance in a Rice uniform. Guys like Ari Broussard, guys like Cole Garcia, who you'll hear from in a little bit, Jordan Dunbar, Antonio Montero, played as well as he has. He's had some great games here, but he played as good as he has and created a big-time turnover that gave us a real boost there. But unfortunately, when you don't find a way to win the game, it's hard to celebrate those things. So that's tough, but we're going to celebrate every victory. We're going to talk about the good, and we're going to learn from the bad as we always do. Watch the game with a critical eye. But again, talking about the flow of the game, I think for 3 2/3 quarters, we played about as well as we needed to. And we certainly left some opportunities out there like you always do in the game, but we played good enough to win, and then we weren't able to capitalize down the stretch. And that's really disappointing. But, we had a couple plays here or there, as you do in any overtime game, that if they're just different, you win the game and you win it in regulation. But the thing I talked to the team about yesterday is that pressure is a privilege, and understanding that being in overtime is just an opportunity to win the game right then and there, and then go celebrate in the locker room. And we need to understand that overtime is a great place to be. It's something that we've earned, and it's just another step for us to learn to finish those games, and we're going to take that in this program. But we still have everything in front of us. We'll continue to grow and trust our process. It'll take an army. It'll take every one of us to finish this season the way we need to, but I have full faith in our players and staff to be able to do so. Talking about Western Kentucky, know that they have a dominant offense, great quarterback, and know that they are playing as good a defense as they have all year. They're creating turnovers. They're really playing solid in all 3 phases, really good on special teams. They get after it on special teams. So it's going to be an unbelievable challenge for us. It's kind of a homecoming for a lot of their guys with their offensive coordinator, a couple of their receivers, and of course, the quarterback coming from right down the road at Houston Baptist last year up to Western Kentucky. So, again, we're excited to have those guys back to Houston and get an opportunity to play this great football game this Saturday against Coach Helton's team. With that, I'll open up for any questions.
Hey, Mike, you talked about looking at the film and learning what you can. What were your couple of your key takeaways that you think your team's going to take away from the Charlotte game and kind of implement going forward?
The biggest thing I would say is that we did some things technique-wise really, really good throughout the game. And when the game is on the line and we have a chance to win a college football game, we've got to go green at that time too, more than ever before. And we've got to fall back on our technique and our training and not abort those things. Because when we do things right, we're pretty hard to deal with. And if we try to do somebody else's job in addition to doing our 111th, it's just too much. There's a reason why the schemes are built the way they are. And if we just do our jobs and finish that game out, gosh, we'd be feeling really good right now. And that's the feeling we've got to get to in those pressure situations, if you were, and understanding the pressure is a privilege.
And then I know you've kind of cycled through a couple guys in the secondary. You called out Jordan Dunbar as having a good game. What do you kind of see on film from the rest of the secondary, the safeties, and you got another good quarterback coming up against you this week? What have you kind of taken on that side of the ball?
Yeah, I think that, it's always a next man up mentality. That's the way it has to be in football. But when you lose George Nyakwal and when you lose Trayshawn Chamberlain, guys that have played a whole lot of football and 2 of the anchors that we counted on this year on the defense, and really the only elder statesman back there is Naeem in terms of directing things from the safety room. Now you've got young guys stepping up and making plays. You've got Gabe Taylor stepping up and making plays. You got Kirk Lockhart stepping up and making plays. And when Play Wyatt's gotten in there, he's done a good job. So they're doing good. But again, there's a little bit of trial by fire right now for the back end. And now the area that I will say has been pretty good all year is guys like Jordan Dunbar, and Sean Fresh is improving. But again, we just got to get them to use their technique and understand the coverage that they're asked to play all the time. And that's what we're working towards.
And then we got Miles Adams coming up here. He's kind of gotten a lot more run this year, unfortunately, with some injuries mixed in. But what have you seen in his game? And then just kind of the front four kind of put together one of their most complete games this weekend against Charlotte.
Yeah, certainly stopping the run. Those guys were all over the place, and the hits on the passer when we could get them, and the 4 sacks. And Miles jumped in there and made a difference on defense for sure. And we've seen him grow throughout this spring and through training camp to a point where we trusted him to put him in there. And we know it's a junior senior sport, so it's time for Miles. And it's great to see that he's making that climb. But what he did on special teams on Saturday by blocking that field goal, and he literally came fractional inches away from blocking 2 more extra points. Those guys are just playing with fanatical effort on that team. I think that's a real testament to the coaching staff for getting them to play that way, and these players for lining up every opportunity on special teams to just go like their hair's on fire. And Miles, again, really got it done for us by getting that block on Saturday.
And then you've talked about starting fast and the momentum at the beginning of games. Had a missed field goal to start this one. How important is it? Obviously, it's huge to get a fast start against Western Kentucky, but especially given you mentioned their offense, somebody that you're probably not going to win this game 7-0. There's going to be some points scored.
Yeah, it would not be one to bet on if they put the over under at 14. That's for sure. They score a ton of points. They throw it all over the yard, and they will throw it 3 straight downs or 10 straight downs. I think they had one game where they had 5 called runs in the football game and 60-something passes. So you're right. You're going to have to score some points. We're going to have to possess the ball like we do. The last 3 games, we've done an unbelievable job holding on to the ball. We've had it for over 37 minutes in all 3 contests. And you'd love to start fast. You'd love to get points on the board. And I would have loved to have done that Saturday. But here's the positive, Matt. I think we talked 3 weeks ago with you guys and with the team. I just put it out there. Guys, we have not come from behind since 2018 against Old Dominion. If we started fast and we scored, we had a chance to win games. Otherwise, we just let the weight of the world come on our shoulders and a here we go again mindset when that happened. Well, in the last 3 ball games, since we've addressed it with our team, and that's what our team does. They rise to challenges. Since we've talked about it and said, guys, it's not a bad place when somebody scores first. It's a great opportunity to come back. Well, in all 3 ball games, since we talked about that, we've come from behind and either tied the game or taken the lead. And so that's progress. Now we got to get to the point of finishing the game and finishing overtime. So I'm going to take the incremental progress. I'm going to show it to them. And then again, I'm going to stress the other things that we need to do to continue to win college football games.
Hey, Coach, what does Zappe do different than the other quarterbacks you've seen this year? What are his strengths?
I don't know that he does things much different than what we saw last week from Reynolds in terms of understanding the offense he's in so completely. That's what Bailey Zappe does. He's in an air raid type system, understands where the ball's supposed to go and the timing of it, and he gets it out of his hand pretty dang quick. And the line does a good job passing game, so he's got time. He'll kind of step up. He's not gonna beat you with his legs, but he'll step up and buy time and then throw the ball down the field. And man, he's got some receivers around him that are just doing a heck of a job. The Stearns kid is outstanding. He was with him at Houston Baptist. He's got like almost 100 catches on the year. I think he's got 98 catches so far this year. So just a heck of a player. And there's 2 other receivers that he loves as well. So that's what Bailey Zappe does. He knows where the ball is supposed to go on time. If something does break down, he's comfortable stepping up in the pocket, buying a little bit of time that way, and then launching the ball down the field.
Hey, can you talk about Ari's game? You spoke of it a little bit earlier, but how big has that been and how he's mixed in there and gradually and earned those extra reps?
He has. I think Ari's such a cool story in our program, from coming here as a walk-on to playing linebacker his first year, saying, Coach, I really think I can help this team on offense. And then now really being healthy through a training camp, missed his first training camp after we put him on scholarship due to injury, missed last year because his roommate had COVID. Now he's as healthy as he's been. And it is something where you see it progressing every week. He's taken another step forward. He's always been that runner we could count on to just drag people and to finish with his pads going forward. But right now, what he did on Saturday was outstanding. I mean, he hit things right. He read them right for the most part. There's a couple of cuts he'd probably want back. And when he makes that decision and his pads get going downhill, like, there are people bouncing off of him. And then there are people jumping on his back like they're a backpack, like I told you last night. And I just think we're seeing the best of Ari. And I addressed it with Ari and the team at halftime. I said, Ari, we're going to lean on you. You're averaging 10 yards a carry. You got to keep it coming. And you should ask Cole Garcia what the line thinks about blocking for him. They love blocking for him. They're talking about him all the time. So he's one that they know if they give the 18 inches of daylight, not only is he going to get through the right place, but he's going to go finish forward.
Anything else for Coach? All right, Coach, thank you very much.
All right, thank you all.
And we'll call Cole up.
How's everybody doing today?
All right, Cole. I think Coach kind of set the tone for the first question. So just talk a little bit about, from the offensive line perspective, what it's like having a guy like Ari behind you, and just what it felt like on Saturday, seeing those holes really be taken advantage of.
I mean, Ari Broussard, just a great dude to block for. I'll tell you this story. I think this says it best. I mean, I went up to him on Sunday and I said, hey, Ari, how many yards did you rush for? He looked at me and said, I rushed for like 186, but that was all y'all. You did it all. I looked at Ari. I said, yeah, Ari, on most plays, I might have got you 2 yards, but I'm not the dude that runs through a safety's face every single time they fill the hole. So, I mean, Ari, he's a great dude. He thanks his O-line like crazy. He shows love to the big dudes, but it's unbelievable when you get a dude 3 yards and he turns it into 18. So blocking for Ari, man, we just love it. We know when he's behind us, if we just give him 6 inches of space, he's dragging 5 dudes for 8 yards.
All right, open it up for questions.
Talking about Ari as a guy who, worked his way from walk on to now you're starting running back. You got guys like Wiley. Those guys kind of speak to like a blue collar mentality of the culture that y'all have right there. Do they kind of personify what y'all are about?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a total blue collar program here. Coach Bloom says it all the time. All we know how to do is work, and we work really, really hard. That's why I think a lot of times we have walk-on success stories. We have Ari Broussard, we have Isaac Clarkowski, we have Jerry Johnson. We have all that stuff because dudes show up when they come in the facility. Everybody knows it's time to work. And we're not here for a day job, a desk job, a 9 to 5 sitting behind a desk. We're here because we love playing a physical, violent sport, and we want to put our hand in the dirt and we want to go. So it's a total blue collar mentality we have here. And we know that mentality is the only thing that's going to keep us and triumph us through these next 3 weeks.
And to that end, you mentioned Isaac. Obviously, it stinks not having him on the field for the better portion of this season. It's been kind of an up and down road for you guys on the front, but as the season's progressed, you strung together a couple really solid jobs on the O-line. How is that kind of work that you put in fruition? What have been the couple things that have really just started to go right?
Sorry, could you repeat that last part one more time? It glitched a little bit.
But what has gone right for you guys up front that's kind of enabled your success on the O-line?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with what you first brought up. I mean, not having Isaac Clarkowski. I mean, that dude is the man. It's a tough thing to get over, especially in an offense like ours, to lose your starting center. But I think everybody can see now, about 5 games in or so, that Braden Nutter's done a phenomenal job stepping up and filling in that role. And then a huge shout out to Shea Baker. It's not an easy thing to do to transition from guard to center, especially the mental capabilities we ask of our centers here. So I really think the past few weeks, it's just been getting the 5 dudes together, gelling more as these 5 guys. And then also it's just a testament to our coaching. We've talked about it before. We have probably 5 or 6 elite level offensive line coaches just in this building. We're really a product of our training when it comes to our coaching. And every week that we've gotten better, I would say as part of it is every week our coaches have worked harder. So I think that's a big testament to some of our recent successes.
And then you mentioned Nutter a couple years back when you were starting. I don't know if there was anybody left to come off the bench if one of y'all went down. Now you got Nutter coming up, Pepe's come in. Derek got his first start. Where's the depth at the O-line in this program right now in terms of where y'all would like it to be?
I mean, it's awesome being having the depth that we have nowadays. I remember my freshman spring ball, we did it with 6 O-linemen, and it was one of the worst 5 weeks of my life, but reps are the best thing, and I was able to get better from it. But nowadays it's pretty freaking cool. There's not really a drop off when Coach Bloom says 2 O-line. There's a lot of dudes who are hungry. I think having people like Nutter and Pepe in the program have been awesome for me personally. Fall camp, I had to play twice as good. They pushed me to get better. And then it's just awesome seeing the young development. I'd say Pepe is probably 3 times the player he was during fall camp. Nutter came in, and for the first half of his first start, he struggled. And now he's out here, and I'd say he's arguably one of the most strapped O-linemen in the conference. So it's been really awesome. I mean, tackle-wise, we have just tons of dudes. If a tackle goes down, I love Clay Servin, and he's my best friend, but if he went down, I wouldn't be, worried. So it's pretty cool going from having no depth of like oh my God, if such and such happens, like, are we screwed, to, whatever happens, like, we can play full speed. We're good. We've got dudes, we don't have to be scared of injury. We can just fly around and play fast.
Hey, Cole, can you talk about going against the Western defensive line? They got the preseason defensive player of the year in their conference, and he's won the award, I guess, 2 years ago. But I know he might not be directly over you all the time, but just their unit as a whole, what have you seen from their D-line that you respect?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think the way that their D-line plays is a testament to the culture of their program. I think their front 7 is going to be a really exciting challenge for us this week. And I might even dare to say front 8 because of all the safety box fillers that they bring down. But I think it's going to be awesome. I mean, number 10, who you alluded to earlier, he's a great ball player. And I think it's going to be a phenomenal challenge for Jovan and Clay. And 97 on the interior. I mean, that dude, he has a really, really high motor. So I think it's just the most exciting part about playing against good talent is the opportunity to prove yourself. And somebody alluded to it earlier, we've been playing better these past few weeks. What better to prove that than a challenge? So we're really excited on the front 5 for this week and this Western defense, as it's going to be one hell of a game.
Anything else for Cole? All right, Cole, thanks. Nice job.
Thanks, guys. You have a good one.
We got Miles Adams.
How's it going?
Good, Miles. All right. Coach touched a little bit on the progress you've made this year. One thing I wanted to get your recount on was the field goal block and just the mentality, because how that turned about, because after seeing a punt block, having the special team be able to go out there and get that play back and then set up a touchdown. Just kind of walk through that.
Well, every time the field goal block team goes out, the motto is give 100% effort every time you get an opportunity to be on the field. So we found our opportunity in that moment. Everybody was giving 100% effort, and it wasn't really even all of me on the block. The guys next to me were giving a lot of pressure, so they're opened the gap, and I shot through, and then it helped me get the block.
All right, we'll open for questions.
A lot of talk about process in the program, Miles. How cool is it for you to see guys like yourself, guys like Ari, guys like Cole, who have been here now a couple years and are finally getting more of a chance on the field to be kind of the guys carrying it, the next step, if you will?
Well, I love to see the development, especially because I've been a part of it. Been here for about 4 years now, and it's really great to see how the team's developing, how the culture's changing. And for example, like people like Ari, I remember seeing Ari on defense during fall camp my freshman year and saying like, oh man, this guy can hit. And like now he's out here running for over 150 yards. It's kind of crazy.
Is he the least favorite guy on during practices to have to tackle?
Not for the D line, but I can't speak for anybody else.
And then I know that things have been kind of topsy-turvy, a lot of moving parts, guys in and out of the lineup. I know Coach Calhoun likes to talk about y'all all being able to play all the way across the line. How have you kind of found your niche on defense with all of those guys coming in and out?
Well, Coach Calhoun always likes to say there's no drop off. So whenever there's an opportunity to get on the field, you have to make sure that you're on point. And so there are opportunities where guys need rest. They've been going for a long drive. So people will go out there for like 2 plays and do a really good job. And then the guys come back on and they're rested and they're ready to get back at it.
There any different conversations that happen on weeks like this where you're going up against a Bailey Zappi, a high-flying offense, and knowing that it's going to take every ounce of y'all to get the pressure to kind of slow them down?
Yeah, they already said it, but they're going to throw the ball a lot. So we got to get back there. And Coach Calhoun always says, put it on us. So D-line's going to always give 100% effort and try and get some pressure on the QB to help out our DBs.
And how have you kind of seen that progression? I know the start of the year kind of started off slowly. Have y'all kind of been coming into stride at the right time? 4 sacks, I think 8 TFLs last week.
Yeah, we've added in some new looks, some different blitzes. So it's helped with the pressure. And then them having to check those and us not running them also helps because they'll slide certain ways and then we can find gaps and shoot those. So it's been good.
Hey, Miles, can you talk about the importance of the turnovers and how you guys have been working really hard to create more and more turnovers per game?
Yeah, turnovers on the defense are really important. We have each week we'll have a meeting and it'll talk about the turnover king and it'll have a list of all the shots, interceptions, forced fumbles. So turnovers are really important. It'll change the tide of the game. It's really important for the defense to get the ball back to the offense. So that's a really key part of our defense.